Hey guys, Ben here from Velflex. Now today we're going to talk about beanies, pressing beanies and how to do it, different types of transfers as well, what transfers work better on beanies. Now guys, you can get your microfiber beanies, you know, they're perfectly flat, really tight weave, you know, more like, feel like more a cotton or a jumper or something like that, like a really low pole fleece. They're sort of quite easy to press. The type of beanie that we're going to work on today here is this really like loose weave, sort of like quite stretchy. It's very ribbed fabric, okay? Now we're going to do this because we're going to show you the type of transfers that would press best onto this, okay? And not all transfers will, particularly not all designs. Designs with little details and things like that won't go, they press on, but it won't last anywhere near as well because of this ribbing, right? So if you need to apply something onto here, the thicker the transfer, the better, okay? And in particular, like we're gonna do right now, we're gonna do one of these Ultra 3D transfers, okay? Show you what that looks like. And we're gonna use our IQ 360 here, which heats top and bottom, okay? Perfect for pressing your dimensional transfers and things like that. And then we're gonna use the STX Cap Press over here, which heated from the top. No heating on the bottom because we don't need it with standard transfers, UltraColour or the vinyl. But I'm going to show you the different types of transfers there that we can use, which give a beanie a good look, that sort of thing. Okay, so guys, here we are. This is 100% acrylic as well, so we'll see how it goes under the heat, that sort of thing. Now, just going to pull it out now. One thing is, I know there's a bit of a ribbing through here, a bit of a stitch, so I'm just conscious of that. I can feel it there, but the fact that we're going to be using a dimensional transfer and we're going to be pressing it just right about here. I don't have any concern over that, and it's pretty good. So I'm just making sure that it's relatively flat. Okay, we're going to put the transfer right here. We've got our cover, which comes with a 3D. It's like a little foam pad that we place over. That makes sure that the dimensional transfer itself make sure that it doesn't lose its dimension. We don't press it flat, okay? If you were to take that 3D transfer, press it with no foam pad, that really smooth top plate will actually just flatten that transfer out, a bit like a pancake. We don't want that. So guys, we're doing a 35-second press right now. We didn't do a warm-up press or anything like that, so we'll see how it actually goes. We may need to give this a second press. We'll just do 35 seconds in the first instance. See how we go. We're on a pressure of 5 as well. I didn't want to flatten that out too much. Cool. Let's have a feel. Now I can tell you what, it started to stick, but it's not quite there. Cool. I'm going to put that back over the top. I'm going to give that, say, another 15 seconds, okay? It's definitely activating that glue, but it hasn't fully pressed it in. Make sure you check that. Cool. Now on the 360, if you want this to pop up, you can obviously knock it up, but there is a button as well, just right here. We'll go down to the 15, done. Pop there, and it just automatically pops away, guys. Now I'm gonna have a look at that, and I'm gonna say that that's pressed much, much, much better. I'll take it off so I can feel it. Cool. Yep, quite a bit of heat into that, and I can feel, probably could go for just a smidge longer there, but it's pressed well into spot. It's going to hold. I would give that a few extra seconds and that will bond right in. And see now what we've got is a nice solid transfer that's pressing across the ribbing, okay? It's going to hold there and you're going to have no issues with that lifting. Once that's really pressed in and bonded, it's not going to lift or anything like that. So just make sure you get all the edges, have a feel. Once you know it's fully bonded down, that's going to stick really, really well. And because of the strength in the transfer, it's not going to stretch and crack or anything like that. That transfer will hold really solid like that. Cool, what we're going to do, we're going to come over to here now to our standard STX transfer, okay? Now, obviously you can see I haven't done any testing here, but we're going to show you the type of transfers that we would press if we were doing, I'm just going to get a pressure feel for that. Cool, it's quite high. Done, that's all right. The type of transfer that would work. Now, see this one here, this is our UltraColour MAX logo, but see the detail in it. This type of transfer won't press very well onto this sort of woven, really loose weave fabric, okay? We're gonna do one to show you, just so you can see what it's actually gonna do, but the type of transfer that I'd be pressing onto something like this needs to be something that's quite solid, okay? Such as this one right here. Cool. Or something like this flock. Now this is the Stahls Flock, it's just single color, okay? But you've got some real body to the actual transfer itself, like the vinyl, okay? It's got a flock feel on the front of it as well, which is really good for something like this. Think of your beanie, it's cold, warm. You want a warm print onto the front, something raised and dimensional again. Try Flock out. This is in grey, comes in a heap of colours, that sort of thing, works really, really well. You just cut this on vinyl, a vinyl cutter, normal vinyl cutter will work. You can get a slightly thicker blade or a longer blade, sorry, that'll cut the flock really, really well. Guys, first one we're going to do though, let's do this one here. This is the UltraColour MAX. It's a solid logo and I'm just going to press it there. Okay. Now here, we're on 8 as far as 7, as far as pressure, it's all down to 6, settling. Cool, it's popped up, cool. Now this is an UltraColour MAX transfer, so we're just gonna give it a few seconds. Cool, let it cool down, and then we're gonna go for a peel, okay? And as I peel it off, cool, let me take that off and show you. What you don't wanna do, guys, is stretch the print right now while it's hot, because these transfers are very malleable. When they're hot, the plasticizers in the glue and things like that are still very active. They do take time to set. So if you can keep your transfer as solid, true to size as possible, don't get it here now and hot and stretch it, because it won't rebound back into shape. It will stretch, but it won't come back because the hot glue hasn't quite set yet. Guys, but that there, as you can see, is a solid print, much better. Like that's perfect, no problems whatsoever there. If you get a good bond, I'd probably give this a second press now that I've got the actual carrier off, just to make sure that you're pressing any edges down into that beanie. Okay. Cool, few seconds. Cool, just like that. And that way I'm making sure that that particular print there is pressed right down into all of those little areas of the ribbing, okay? Now, as you can see here though, if we look at these two side by side, right? Okay, the beanie being nice and ribbed and thick, that sort of thing, you sort of lose the actual flat print, okay? UltraColour MAX, very flat, single dimension, whereas here your dimensional transfer really stands out like a badge on the actual beanie itself, okay? Now, my personal preference, again, putting a print onto a garment, it's a bit like pressing onto, putting transfers onto polos or shirts and things like that. That embroidered dimension sort of looks really good. So picking a print that also has that dimension, that 3D raised, is the best way to go. And on this particular beanie as well, you can see that that dimensional boldness really works well with the actual type of garment. But that there, if that's what you're doing, certainly will apply, and it's stuck right on there. We're going to move around to this side over here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to press the flock on here as well, guys. So this is our flock, or the Stahls Flock single color, and I'm just going to show you what that looks like as a product, because it's got that thickness to it and it's a CAD cut as well. So we're just going to press it on, make sure that the transfer has plenty of room to press under the heat. Now again, I'm only doing 10 seconds here. Flock can often take a little bit more because it is thicker. So we'll just see how it peels. I might just hold it for a second. Cool, there we go. All right, plenty of heat in that. Now, flock is a cold peel, guys. It's not instantly hot or anything like that. We'll let that cool down a little bit. Cool, we'll see how that goes. Cool. So what we've got now is we've got a flock patch, and what we can see though is we're flattening this out, it's pulling the moisture out of that fabric as well, which is discoloring it, that sort of thing. It will puff back up again, absolutely, but what we want to do is we may even reduce the pressure. For this particular press here, we are at a high pressure. Cool. But here, what you can see, again, this dimensional sort of print, it actually has got a bit of body to it. It feels much better on that ribbed fabric, okay? What we need to do though is once that's cooled down, we're gonna want to really rough up all of this fiber. We've ironed it flat, guys, so it looks different to this here. It looks a different color, but as we rough that back up again, we're gonna get it back to this this raised sort of ribbed acrylic sort of look. We're gonna put this last one on, guys. I'm gonna show you what this UltraColour MAX logo would look like as a transfer. I'm not hopeful on the actual design, that sort of thing, in terms of all the fine little detail. It certainly wouldn't be what I'd suggest on putting on there, but I just want to show you anyway so that you don't have to do the test yourself. Okay, I'm going to drop the pressure back just a little bit on this. We do that underneath here, we just screw it down. Cool. Just right there, done. Taking too much pressure off that, we're not getting a reading anymore. I'll wait for it to pop up. There we go, it's popped up. I'll just screw that up just a little bit. We'll just get a, still not, hang on, oop, a little bit longer, a little bit more. It's certainly got some heat into it, but we do want a little bit of pressure. And as you can see, look, we're not squashing it anywhere near as much as we did before. Yeah, there we go. We've got a 4 or 5 on there. Cool, excellent. All right, there we go, done. So I'm gonna let that just cool a little bit. It is a hot peel, but it's not instant, okay? Let that press, and here we're just gonna peel that off, okay? So you can see, pressed really, really well, did peel. And to be honest, it actually has bonded in with that sort of fibre, the ribbed sort of acrylic fabric there, actually quite well. Again though, doesn't have that same dimensional look that we see over here with the Flock or with the Ultra 3D print that we see there. That flat look sort of just doesn't have the same body to it as you see in this ribbing. But as far as the actual transfer itself bonding in, I'm actually really happy with the way that that fine detail has pressed in. Over time though, I suppose with wearing of the beanie, stretching of the beanie, and once this roughs up, that sort of thing, hopefully wouldn't have any issues with the small, tiny detail. I'm a big one for trying to keep logos quite bold if we're going on to ribbed sort of dimensional raised sort of fabrics that's got quite a bit of texture to it. Make sure that your transfers are also quite bold so that you don't have too many edges, things like that, that can lift up over time. So guys, there you go. That's pressing onto this beanie. Absolutely, first couple of presses here probably had too high pressure, should have dropped it down. But what you'll see as we drop the pressure down, you certainly get less marks. This here, as that comes back a little bit, you'll be able to rough that up. The actual beanie will come back to that sort of look. But out of all of the actual transfers that we've pressed here, by far the best one is your dimensional Ultra 3D transfer onto a beanie of this type, guys. Any questions, reach out to us on our email, phone, or check out our website. Cheers, guys.